Massive Joplin, Missouri tornado. The death toll stood at 90 on Monday after a massive tornado, the deadliest single U.S. tornado since at least 1953, tore through the city on Sunday. The 6-mile path included a hospital, a high school destroyed, cars crushed like soda cans, and a forest of splintered tree trunks where neighborhoods once stood. Authorities warned that the death toll could climb as search and rescue workers continued their efforts. Their task was made more miserable as a new thunderstorm with strong winds and heavy rain pelted part of the city with quarter-sized hail on Monday morning. Fire Chief Mitch Randles estimated that at least 25 to 30% of the city was damaged or destroyed, and said his own home was among the buildings destroyed as the twister swept through the city of approximately 50,000 people, some 160 miles south of Kansas City. It cut the city in half, Randles said. For whatever the reason be, the tornadoes are getting bigger and worse. Like last month's record-breaking 875 tornadoes in just 1 month. Governor Jay Nixon said that some 2,000 structures saw significant damage and that searching for survivors remains a priority. There's still a significant potential for saving lives, Nixon said. More than 500 people were confirmed injured, many with massive internal injuries, officials said. An estimated 20,000 homes and businesses were without power. Joplin Mayor Mike Woolston said, "We're still trying to find people. The outlook is pretty bleak. May the Lord rest their souls." The city's residents were giving approximately 20 minutes notice when 25 warning sirens sounded around 6 p.m. local time. The governor said many people likely were unable to get to shelter in time. The bottom line was the storm was so loud you probably couldn't hear the sirens going off. Staff at St. John's Regional Medical Center hustled patients into hallways before the storm struck the 9-story building, blowing out hundreds of windows and leaving the faculty useless. On Monday, officers from the city and neighboring towns and counties manned virtually every major intersection. Ambulances came and went, sirens blaring. Rescuers involved in a door-to-door search moved gingerly around downed power lines and jagged debris. A series of gas leaks caused fires around the city overnight, and Nixon said some were still burning early Monday. The same storm system that produced the Joplin tornado spawned twisters across the broad area of the Midwest, from Oklahoma to Wisconsin. At least one person was killed in Minneapolis, but the devastation in Missouri was the worst of the day, eerily reminiscent of the tornadoes that took more than 300 people across the South last month. A warning coordinator for the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, said that although both storms had high death tolls, the situation in Joplin was different to that in Alabama last month. This was one tornado, he said. There were other tornadoes that touched down yesterday, but nothing to the extent of a month ago. It's different. It was not the same type of large-scale outbreak. He estimated that the tornado that hit Joplin had winds of 135 to 165 miles per hour. More severe storms are coming, he also added, with Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma expected to see tornadoes Monday and Tuesday, and bad weather spreading to the East Coast by Friday. As the toll currently stands, the Joplin storm matches the Worcester, Massachusetts tornado of June 9th, 1953, which killed 90 people. So, if Joplin's toll increases further, which most likely it will, it would start approaching the toll from a deadly storm that hit the previous day in 1953, when 115 people died in Flint, Michigan. In other words, this was one of the most massive tornadoes that there has ever been. Triage centers and shelters were set up around the city. At Memorial Hall, a downtown entertainment venue, nurses and other emergency workers from across the region treated critically injured patients. At another makeshift unit at a home improvement store, wooden planks served as beds. Outside, ambulances and fire trucks waited for calls. During one stretch after midnight Monday, emergency vehicles were scrambling nearly every 2 minutes. Emergency management officials rushed heavy equipment to Joplin to help lift debris and clear the way for search and recovery operations. Governor Nixon declared a state of emergency, and President Barack Obama sent condolences to families of those who died. In the hospital parking lot, a helicopter lay crushed on its side, its rotors torn apart and windows smashed. Nearby, a pile of cars lay crumpled into a single mass of twisted metal. We are not sure of the safety of the building. Details about fatalities and injuries were difficult to obtain even for emergency management officials because the massive tornado knocked out power, landline phones, and some cell phone towers, said Greg Hickman, Assistant Emergency Management Director in Newton County. Debris was carried up to 60 miles away, with medical records, x-rays, insulation, and other items falling to the ground in Greene County, said Larry Woods, Assistant Director of the Springfield Greene County Office of Emergency Management. And these extreme weather events seem to be increasing in frequency, with bigger and more tornadoes than ever before. There is definitely something happening with the weather which is different, and this too is another sign of the times, and another physical manifestation of the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 9. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. 2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. 3. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. 4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those humans which have not the seals of God in their foreheads. 5. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he strikes a man. 6. And in those days shall humans seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. 7. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were, as it were, crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of humans. 8. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. 9. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. 10. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt humans 5 months. 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue has his name Apollyon. 12. One woe is past, and, behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God. 14. Saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. It's time for all prophecy to be fulfilled. Everything that must change quickly or rapidly, and for the better, because these are the end times, transition days, which is a continuing day-by-day process of extraordinary changes, happenings, and events. Everything is connected, and everything is numbered.